Here's a quick tier 6 map to show you what the clear looks like on ultra budget gear. Basically just a bunch of stuff I picked up off the ground and like 2 items I bought off the auction house for 1 FU each. Oops. Short map, but you get the point. Erika is a very fun character. She's a cat girl, and that's all you need to know. Just kidding, but she basically functions as a cat. Anyways, she gets zoomies based on her cat's agility ability. You can see here 20% movement speed, and then 200% of the increase/decrease in movement speed is also applied to attack damage. So you can see you can get this to get really zoomy. Then she also gets something called Stalker Stacks, which is multi-strike deals 20% more damage. For each strike, you have each stack of Stalker. This is a tongue twister, and then you lose Stalker when the multi-strike ends. However, there's a way to prevent that, which I'll get to in a minute. But basically, you stack movement speed, you get a ton of damage, you do a ton of multi-strikes, and you can see where this is going. You scale it out of control and you zoom super hard, and it gets pretty crazy. And you can see here, you get a ton of multi-strikes. If I just click once, I clicked once there and attacked 8 times, or however many times that was, you get a lot of multi-strikes. So the best build to really start off this character with by far is Berserking Blade / Thunder Slash. So this is Berserking Blade, and this is Thunder Slash right here. So Berserking Blade is basically a huge screen-wide AoE, essentially that will kill everything. It has a lot of damage by itself, so you use this for mapping, and then when you do a little bit more single target, like when you do a boss or something, not in map bosses, but like the Watchers, or the Time Traveler Man, you'd swap to Thunder Slash. But you have plenty of damage for mapping, and eventually you'll have plenty of damage to do everything with this skill. I mean, it does have enough damage, you just get more with Thunder Slash. So that's really what you should do if you want to start this build, to your character to be very smooth. And then you can scale into complete deck stacking for literal billions of DPS with Berserking Blade or Thunder Slash. And then if you don't want to go that route, there's some evasion stacking builds you can do, which will stack a lot of movement speed, and you can just run super fast through maps, clear everything. If you want a good example of that, you can check out Palstron's evasion stacker. He uploaded it like a week ago or so, maybe a little bit more longer. But that is a very solid build you could check out. So this is how I started leveling the build. There's a few other variations that I did try in terms of passive trees. This one's similar, but a little bit different. I basically iterated on how I leveled the Flame Slash character from last league, and I just put on this character, and it works pretty well. It's the smoothest way I've seen to do it early when you have like no gear. So this is just what I did. It's not ideal for end game, but it is good to level with. So first you go Goddess of Hunting. I'll link in the description a tree tracker page thing, but long story short, you get paralyzed minus lightning res. We're doing all lightning damage here. Rushed. This is good because you're moving a lot. In the Blade Runner tree, you got conductive, and this quick advancement, multi-strikes deal increasing damage, multi-strike character. This one you'll get 20% additional melee damage, burst knock. Here you would take impending, which is like 30% additional damage once it stacks up. And that is the trees. I'll link them in the description. So here's what my skill links look like. For Berserking Blade / Thunder Slash, they'll use the same links and then you just swap out for when you need them. Berserking Blade for clear and Thunder Slash for single target. Go multi-strike, electric overload, lightning penetration, high voltage, and raging slash. And here I have leap attack with quick mobility and periodic burst. Just a leap fast. Here I have compound potion, emergency restoration, residues. The most important one is residues. What this does is essentially, if the potion fills your HP up, it won't stop and it'll keep going. It takes a little bit of effect away from the potion, but it's definitely worth using. Here's Bull's Rage. I have it linked with Mania. You can also link it with Death Will. Here I have Bloodthirst, linked with Death Will. You can also link it with Mania. But you just need to watch it because they will take your HP, so you might need to play around with the links a little bit. My auras, I have Swiftness here since the character gains damage from movement speed. And then Electric Conversion, Rejuvenation. And here's Summon Thunder Spirit. You could link this with Mark. And then if you can fit it in as well, Magical Source. You just want to make sure your mana is not too low, so you like start losing casts. So it's a balancing game for sure there. Here is the hero traits that you should choose. Hot Pursuit, well, you don't really have much choice there, but then Have Fun. This will give you more attack speed and it'll stack you more attack speed for your multi-strikes. Here you get an extra Stalker stack, more multi-strike damage. Here you take Catwalk, and what this does is it makes you so you don't lose Stalker after your multi-strike ends, so you can keep that uptime on your passive ability, which you can see right here. You can have more uptime on that. Then once you get to 6, you can just stand still and hold right click. And then Cat's Vision, and then you get more Stalker stacks. So here's my character's gear at the moment. This is very early on. Most of it's stuff I picked off the ground. 2 of them I bought for 1 FE off the auction house. So helmet, random thing off the ground, life, res, some other stuff. Here's an important one that's really good early. Sky Devour, Dex Armor. It gives you lots of evasion, gives you some stats, gives you some elemental resistance, damage, and more AoE. Here's a very important one for making it smooth early. Guttural of the Drowned. It gives you some life. That's not the important part. The important part is this part. All these about severe injury. So here it says any damage at low life is considered a severe injury. So a severe injury is just when you take like a big hit, essentially. But if you're at low life, everything's considered severe. And then you get a little bit more damage, and you also restore some life. The biggest part is severe injuries are prevented from being fatal. This is basically once every 8 seconds, you can get a little bit more. I think it's like 10 FE to get one that's 6-second cooldown. And what this does is allows you to negate a 1-shot every 8 seconds, or if you're just on the life, if something's going to kill you, it helps you once every 8 seconds. And it's a lot smoother and it stops a lot of deaths. Here's Gambler's Embrace, just a little bit more damage. My belts, just random stats, damage and res. Boots have some life and res. Res, life, damage. Life, res. This sword it's a blue sword. I mean, I'm not getting much damage from this. All I have is this deck stacking mod. I have some deck stacking mod here too. I'm not really full deck stacking yet. These are just the swords I have. So I only have 322 decks, so Not really getting that much from it, but it is still good. So it's a good mod to get. I'd recommend getting it on your gear as well, but it's not necessary this early. It's just what I have. Here I'll show you the target dummy damage and a little bit of an explanation just how to play the build, since the character is a little bit odd in how you can get the max damage. So you essentially just want to hit him and then leap around. Oh, I should have waited there because you can see it's based on this passive thing. You want to like time your damage output with it being at 6 stacks. So you leap, get 3 stacks, hit him a few times, leap again, leap again, leap again, 6, and then you pop your buffs, and then you go crazy. So you can see how it's a little bit awkward. Once you get used to it, it becomes second nature. You just need to make sure you're watching those stacks and you keep it up. So that's 11 million damage on a level 82 character with basically no gear. So yeah, it's quite good. It's the highest DPS I've had on a character that has literally no gear and doesn't have optimal passive trees. So obviously this is gonna get really crazy in the end game. So to wrap things up, Erika has been a very fun character to play so far in a level as, and she seems to have a lot of scaling potential. So I'm going to keep playing this character, and I might make another video later showing what that looks like once I really put some currency into this build. I might swap builds too, not sure. No matter what I do, it should be quite fast on this character. She's a real zoomer.